everybody, this is Cyric1983, and welcome back to Lunar 2, and yep, episode 78 was the end of the game. Afterwards, it would have been just an episode of credits and all that kind of stuff, but I'm having quite a bit of trouble getting them to scroll with the emulator here, but I guess that's for the better, because the game is not over. There's an epilogue, so let's load it up. So, where do I start looking? I guess we better go talk to Null. Heal up first. But yeah, the whole gist of this epilogue, after the main story of the game, is to get to the Blue Star, as Luna directed in her letter to Hiro. I actually like the way this game was laid out. I mean, unlike, Final Fantasy X, where they just decided to make a cash grab and make an entirely separate game that involves a whole bunch of side quests and a little bit of story. So yeah, all they did with this one is just made it a hell of an ending for the game, and then just tacked on a little epilogue to sate the appetites of the people that wanted to go back, and I guess considering it was in the continue menu that you had to want to go back and play it again. So I guess I figured, well, if they want to play it again, let's give them a little treat, Let them have the happy ending. But yeah, I love this game. It's definitely one of my favorite games of all time. I just wish they'd focus more on story with games these days, even movies as well. I saw Zombieland the other day. Oh man, that's a great movie. Not much for story, but oh, that's funny. Woody Harrelson freaking rocks. But yeah. But yeah, back to the whole idea of a story for a game. I mean, that brings to mind Final Fantasy, and most notably the most recent one, Final Fantasy XIII, and the turmoil that seems to be going on with it since Microsoft said, hey, we want a piece of it too. And it just makes me scratch my head and bang my head against the wall, because up until now, well, since Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy has been a trademark of the PlayStation console, and Final Fantasy XIII itself was well on its way to the PlayStation 3 before Microsoft decided to buy them out and say, hey, we want it too. But what really gets to me is the fact that the people that bought a 360 instead of PlayStation 3, they knew from the beginning that Final Fantasy was a PlayStation name. So, the people who bought a Xbox 360 and not a PlayStation 3 signed up from the very beginning to be excluded from the Final Fantasy franchise. So why in the hell is Square Enix trying to cater to a public or a fan base that doesn't exist, that have absolutely no interest in supporting the franchise whatsoever? It makes absolutely zero business sense, for one. Well, I guess in terms of making money it makes sense, but for crying out loud. And now the fact that because the Xbox 360, the discs don't have as much storage on them as the Blu-ray discs for the PlayStation 3, Square Enix is actually having to push back the Final Fantasy XIII release date because they have to hollow out the game so that it can fit on the Xbox 360, and therefore it'll jeopardize the quality of the story for the PlayStation version. So again, I go back to the fact that Square Enix is sacrificing what looked like to be one of the most promising Final Fantasies yet in terms of graphics and gameplay, or at least story-wise, and now they're screwing it up because of people that don't want anything to do with the game. I'm just I mean, it looks like it's going to be a great game, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Final Fantasy VIII, and a lot of people say they hate Final Fantasy VIII because of all the story holes. The reason why people say that is because it is full of holes. Because Square Enix, Final Fantasy VIII was the last game that Square Enix subjected to the hollowing out part of their games. The original Final Fantasy VIII was supposed to be around 7 discs long instead of 4. The extra 3 discs would have allowed a little more in-depth explanation into the history of Laguna and all that kind of stuff, I've heard. So, yeah, I mean, I love Final Fantasy VIII, so who knows, maybe 13 will still be great, but again, they're sacrificing quality for just making a few extra bucks. I just lost all respect for them, but at least Final Fantasy XIII Versus, it's still a PlayStation exclusive, and it looks like all the graphics look phenomenal, and I have a feeling the story is probably going to be the best one of both of them. So anyways, there's Mel. Hey, we got the legendary Sword of Althena. Again, for those that have watched or at least played or at least watched the Lunar 1 videos. But yeah, there we go. Let's put that on Ruby, and I might as well put the pendant in Ruby as well. But where do we start? Great. Well, I wonder if we can possibly hook up with the others, and yep, we're going to be getting our members back, but there's one thing I want to do. I'll head down to the Destiny, and I'll meet you there. Alright, we're back in the Destiny. So yeah, we're, well, since Hiro's alone, and considering the trend that we've gone through so far, when Hiro's been alone, yep, we're going to be doing some level grinding, and actually pretty heavy, actually. Maybe not really, considering how far we're going to be leveling up. Yeah, we're going to be taking Hiro to level 99. And, well, remember those ice mongrels on the ice continent? The ones that give the maximum amount of experience you can get in a battle? Yep, you're going to be able to get basically 1 level per battle with that guy, with that kind of experience. So, really, let's get out here, level 55, so it should take only about 44 of them. I might as well stay here. And theoretically, you shouldn't need to heal up at all while you're doing this. Alright, sweet. First time. Alright, Ice Mongrels. Okay, now that Hiro's alone, they will not run away nearly as much. So just use Post Sword as usual. And yeah, you really only need to kill 1. So, because it won't go any higher than 65,000 experience. So just kill the 1 off. I mean, technically, you could kill the second one, but yeah, it's just wasting MP, I guess you could say. And like I said, if you do it right, you shouldn't need to heal up at all. Sweet. There we go. But yeah, that's just basically all you need to do. There is one catch, though. Whenever you go into a battle and there's the Ice Mongrel and the Ice Pups, or any other enemy that they show up with, don't bother trying to kill him with your Post Sword, because you will not get the experience, even if you kill it and the Ice Pups, because the Ice Pups will it's actually a bug in the game where the Ice Pups will actually it'll actually push the counter over the 65,000 experience, and the Ice Mongrel experience will not count, so there's no point using any MP there. So just use your attacks until the Ice Mongrel runs away, pretty much. Or you can just run away from the battle if you want, but, you know, you still get about 1,000 experience there. But yeah, just keep going back and forth here until you until you get up to level 99 with Hiro. It should not take very long, considering you will be gaining 1 level per Ice Mongrel, so that's that. I'll take care of that before the next video. This is Cyric1983 signing off. See you next time.